Well, let's see. Cognitive issue or just a terrible person? I'm going to leave it up to you to decide as we review some moments from failed former President Donald Trump's most recent rally in Iowa, in Newton, Iowa. During this rally, Donald Trump said that slavery could have been negotiated. The Civil War could have been negotiated. He also made fun of the late Senator John McCain for his injury sustained while a prisoner of war, which made it so he couldn't lift his arms very high. Cognitive decline or Trump is just a disgusting person? You tell me. Here's Trump on the Civil War.
I love studying if you take a look, the wars, I don't know what it is. The Civil War was so fascinating, so horrible. It was so horrible, but so fascinating. It was, I don't know, it was just different. I just find it, I'm so attracted to seeing it. So many mistakes were made.
Trump's attracted to studying the Civil War. Has Trump ever studied anything?
See, there was something I think could have been negotiated, to be honest with you. I think you could have negotiated that. All the people died. So many people died. You know, that was the disaster. If you got hit by a bullet in the leg, you were essentially going to die or lose the leg. That's why you had so many people, no legs, no arms. If you got hit in the arm or the leg, it meant you were up because the infection, gangrene. It was just such a, sort of a horrible time. But I was thinking to myself, because I was reading something, and I said, this is something that could have been negotiated. It was just for all those people to die, and they died viciously. That was a vicious, vicious war. And in many ways, look, they're all this, nothing nice about it. But boy, that was a tough one for our country. But I think it's, Abraham Lincoln. Of course, if he negotiated it, you probably wouldn't even know who Abraham Lincoln was.
There you go. You could have negotiated the Civil War. Trump thinks that the matter of human slavery maybe should have been negotiated. Maybe there could be a compromise. You're allowed a certain number of slaves, or certain states get to have them and certain don't, or I don't know what kind of compromise or negotiation Donald Trump is thinking about doing with these virulent racists who wanted to own other people. But this wasn't even necessarily the most disgusting moment of the rally in Newton. Trump then mocking the late Senator John McCain for the injury that he sustained where he could not raise his arms. It's hard to believe this guy's this disgusting, but he is, and a lot of people love it.
Obamacare is a catastrophe. Nobody talks about it. Without John McCain, we would have had it done. But John McCain, for some reason, couldn't get his arm up that day. Remember? He goes that like...
Yeah. Couldn't get his arm up. Unable to lift his arms above his shoulders. Of course, as a result of the injury and torture he sustained when he was a prisoner of war. This is not a guy with respect for the military. Openly mocking former prisoners of war. Remember when he said about McCain, I pretend my heroes who don't get captured. He's branded our war dead suckers and losers. He's refused to stand alongside injured war veterans because he didn't like the optics of it. And of course, the most exciting moment to the audience of these speeches, it wasn't when Trump talked about negotiating slavery. It wasn't when Trump made fun of John McCain's war injury. It was when Trump jumped into the transphobia. Notice how quickly the crowd moves to a standing ovation when he starts in on the transphobia. This is his base. They love this crowd.
In our country. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto our children. All right? Amazing. It's amazing that you have to even say these things, Who would ever think, your children go into surgery, you don't even know, thinking, so they're operating on your daughter. They are? Can you believe this? They're taking over. It's just in our country.
Yeah. So probably the biggest applause line of the night, as is often the case at CPAC events, Trump rallies, and other right-wing turning point events and the like. When they go transphobic, they stand and they clap and they cheer, which reminds us this is very, very far from being, George H.W. Bush's Republican Party. Without romanticizing that, Nobody in here seems super concerned about tax rates, let me put it that way. And then Trump with another one of these cognitive beauties ranting about telephones and how telephones work and sometimes you can speak on them and use them. A very weird moment of the speech.
You know, you can do things, you don't even have to go there. You can do things with telephones that are quite effective if you know how to use a telephone properly, if you know how to speak, that are very effective. Sometimes it's better because it's easier to talk over a phone than to tell some of the things I say to these guys face to face. It's easier for me to just say, you know, you son of a...
Two possibilities. One, this is another one of those cognitive glitches where Trump doesn't even know why he's talking about this or what he's saying. Or secondly, Trump's alluding to the fact that he prefers for there to be no paper trail. So you talk on the phone and then I don't know what was said. We certainly have no email record or text message record or anything of the like. Newton, Iowa. It's not just about what they don't cheer for. It's about what they do cheer for. I expect a Trump win in Iowa on Monday. The plan is to cover those results as they come in live. Weight loss is often not easy, especially if you're in your 30s or later. There's no miracle cure, right? The magic diet or the pill or the injection. It's just about healthy eating, not beating yourself up, and having a plan. And that's what our sponsor, PhD Weight Loss, understands. PhD Weight Loss helps real people see real results at losing weight. It's lifestyle modification. It's using protocols from successful clinical trials. It's evidence-based and it's very reasonable. The founder of PhD Weight Loss is licensed registered dietitian, Dr. Ashley Lucas. She has spent decades developing this program. You can check out their website and the amazing results that many people have had. There's no severe calorie restrictions, no medications or supplements, no crazy unsustainable exercise routines. It's healthy eating, customized meal plan, and weekly one-on-one coaching for a truly personal touch experience. You can learn more about PhD weight loss at myphdweightloss.com. Then call for a consultation using the phone number I'm showing here and mention the David Pakman Show to get a week of the program totally free. The link is down below.